Hello, and thanks for joining me from my home studio here in Paris. Today, we're going to talk about the cancellation of festivals across the world, from Coachella to Glastonbury to the Avignon Theatre Festival and the Edinburgh Festival. Thousands of people have been disappointed because they're not going to be able to go to their summer festival this year. Just here in France, 1.5 million people have had their tickets cancelled, causing mass disappointment.
J'avais l'intention d'aller aux Vieilles Charrues.
We Love Green. Organising ou Solidays.
C'est un grand moment de fête et c'est vrai que c'est difficile.
L'annulation en masse de ça, ça nous renvoie aussi à notre solitude et à la difficulté de tout ce qui se passe.
Well, I'm joined now by the CEO of the Montreux Jazz Festival, Mathieu Jaton, and the comedian Mark Watson, who is planning a 24-hour online comedy festival. Welcome to you both. Mathieu, Montreux is the second largest jazz festival in the world after Montreal. It was due to take place in Switzerland in July. Last year, 250,000 people attended the festival. In its more than 50-year history, it has never been cancelled. First of all, Tell us, what was that decision like to cancel it?
It was a very difficult decision to take, of course, because it had never happened in the history of the Montreux Jazz Festival. And we've seen during the last months and weeks, as you mentioned, Glastonbury started to cancel Coachella, Roskilde in Europe, and in Switzerland, they haven't pronounced yet the impossibility to organize the festival, but it's going to be done this week. But we had to anticipate this decision and to cancel the festival on 17th of April because it was impossible to run the festival.
Now, I imagine you looked at lots of options. I know the Cannes Film Festival is still hoping to put on the festival later on in this year, but postponing wasn't an option for you, I guess.
No, honestly not. We are a summer festival in Switzerland, so it was very important to be in summer. And also logistically, it was totally impossible. So it's why we decided to cancel and to remove most of the artists, if possible, in 2021.
So how does it work? Are people entitled to a refund, or will the tickets go over into next year?
So we were a little bit lucky with that because we haven't announced the program yet, because normally it was on the 26th of March. So the program was not launched. There was only 2 concerts of Lenny Kravitz and Lionel Richie announced where a ticket has been sold. So of course, we hope and cross the fingers that the 2 artists will be rebooked on 221 and all the tickets will be valuable for those 2 dates in 221.
Well, another festival that's been cancelled here in France is the Theatre Festival Avignon, and the director, Olivier P., told us about the devastating financial implications of that.
Pour la ville, ce sera un impact terrible, puisque la ville a un retour économique de 100 millions. Donc, on sait qu'une personne sur 4 à Avignon vit du festival. C'est considérable.
Well, staging a festival is an all-year-round endeavour. Lots of money has already been paid out. Tell us about the financial implications for you, Mathieu.
It's huge because we have a 30 million euros budget over the year. And as we are cancelled, of course, there is no revenue, food and beverage, ticketing and sponsoring. But there is also a big consequence for all the region because Montreux Jazz Festival is generating roughly 100 million euros for the region and also generating 60,000 nights of hotels.
Mark, as a comedian, you've performed in many a festival in your career, including the Edinburgh Festival, which has also been cancelled this year. Have you had many dates cancelled so far?
Lots. Yeah, it's been pretty devastating for most people, comedians, live entertainers of all kinds, really. I'm one of the comedians who rely quite heavily on the Edinburgh Festival, also the Melbourne Festival, which is where I would have been kind of around now. It's normally in April. In my case, I've managed to postpone quite a lot of shows into autumn, but we don't really know if they can take place then either. So there's a lot of just staring into a void.
And many artists get something like half of their annual income, I think I read, from festivals. How important are festivals for artists, would you say, apart from the financial side of it?
Yeah, there are 2 sides to it. There is the financial side, and as you say, for a comedian of my kind of medium level, festivals are extremely valuable as a proportion of your income. But as you say, it's also a festival is where certainly true of comedy, and I'm sure it's true of Montreux Jazz Festival. It's where people come together, exchange ideas, meet, is what gives the industry a feeling of kind of togetherness and momentum.
And you were due to perform at a festival in a tiny Welsh town called Montreux. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. At the start,
not many people can do that.
At the start of May. As an alternative, though, you've decided to do the festival online over 24 hours. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so these 24-hour comedy shows are sort of stupid thing I've been doing for a while now. I began at the Edinburgh Festival as an annual thing, and nowadays I do it as a charity event every couple of years in London. So I thought I would do it this year online, since we don't have any choice, and I'm going to try and perform in some way or other for the whole 24 hours with guests coming in from their homes. But I thought it would basically maybe cheer some of us up to have a festival in our houses when we would have been in Wales.
And Mathieu, when you announced that Montreux was cancelled, you didn't totally keep the music away from the fans, did you? You did think of another alternative online for them. Tell us about that.
Yeah, for sure. As you maybe know, Montreux has been recorded since the very beginning. So we have one of the biggest archives, video live in the world, recognized by UNESCO as Memory of the Words. So we try to work with our partners like Eagle Vision and Stingray to give access to some of those concerts for free for 1 month. And so we decided to put like 50 concerts for free on Stingray platform, thanks to Eagle Vision and to Claude Knopf's foundation, who is protecting the archives of the festival. And so we made that happen. And you can see on those platforms amazing concerts like Nina Simone or Marvin Gaye or James Brown or Talk and all the big artists. And there is not a question of money, but it's more the question of making the brand Montreux still alive and give a help to the artist, because Montreux is also like that. It's a platform for the artists, as Mark was saying. A festival is not only for the performance, but is also to give to the artists the opportunity to be visible, or to have the opportunity to have a new platform to express their art. We have a foundation which is dedicated for the artists called Montreux Jazz Artists Foundation. And we would love to use our time right now to help the artists to get through these terrible periods.
Many artists have been performing online from the confinement. Mark, have you had a go at this? And what's it like, a comedian without his audience?
It's pretty strange. I have done it a few times. Various people have set up online comedy clubs where audience can watch streams of it. And it works reasonably well up to a point. There are a couple of clubs where audience members can join the Zoom call by buying tickets and then kind of chat back and forth to the comedians. And that works very well. The stranger ones are where you are just literally talking at your laptop screen with no response from anyone whatsoever. On those occasions, I've just had to have my girlfriend or my children in the room and force them to laugh, but it's not quite the same.
Well, I'd like to give people watching an idea of your work. This is you performing in Melbourne this time last year.
These days, the announcements on the British public transport, they no longer say, please report anything suspicious, because that makes you more nervous. They've started saying, please report anything that doesn't look right. You'll hear that if you go to Britain. It's so British, something that doesn't look right. Oh, I'm about to be killed. Well, that's not right, is it? It's not on. And also, I mean, it's so vague. A lot of things don't look right. I can't be on the phone all night. Hello, I've just seen a man in a full suit and tie on one of those scooters that are clearly intended for children. Yeah, No, not an imminent threat, but it did not look right. Oh, hello, yeah, me again. I've just seen the word skiing written down. Strange, isn't it?
Mark, we're living in unprecedented times. How do you choose the tone for your humour at times like this?
It's a good question. It feels as if we have to have some stuff to talk about that's not the virus, the pandemic, but at the same time, it would be really weird not to refer to it. So I think most comedians are trying to touch on it, acknowledge it, and then find ways to talk about stuff which is fun, which isn't directly related to it. It's kind of all you can do, really. So much of stand-up comedy is about observing the world around you.
One final question for you both. And what do you think the place is for online festivals in the future?
I think that's a great question, because everything that we're trying to do now is to think sustainable in the process that we're putting in place. I think that when this crisis will be over, everybody will look for concert and be in the hall together, because this is the most beautiful social things that we can do when we want to listen to music or listen to actors or comedians. For us, it was very important to think both together, and because we never know where we're going in the future?
It is a good question. I think, similar to what Mathieu said, I think that people will always want to go physically to festivals if we possibly can, because so much of it is about being part of a crowd, part of a big collective. But having said that, there are lots of people who can't go out so easily, can't go to events so easily, and for whatever reason enjoy consuming things at home more. So maybe we'll learn skills in this period for doing what we do online, which we can use to reach an audience of people who, for whatever reason, find it more difficult. So there could be a place for both, I guess is what I'm saying. But it would be nice to have the option of both.
Well, let's hope something positive does come out of this. Your comedy festival, What's On a Thon, will take place online on the 1st of May. And you can watch previous Montreux Jazz Festival performances also online until the next one, which will be in July 2021. Mathieu and Marc, thank you so much for joining us.
Nice to talk
for having us.
It's been a pleasure to have you. We're going to leave you now with a festival that has successfully taken things online. It's Le Printemps de Bourges, which has been called Le Printemps Imaginaire. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe out there. See you soon.
Oh, dites-le-moi doucement, murmurez-le-moi simplement. Je vous écouterai bien mieux, sans doute. Si vous parlez du bout des lèvres, j'entends très bien du bout du cœur. Et je peux continuer mon rêve, que l'amour soit à mon oreille, doux comme le chant des abeilles, en été un jour au soleil, au soleil.
Some of the world's most influential people talk to France 24.
Government cannot do much promotion of human value.
Politicians.
E acho que sem política não há democracia.
Scientists, athletes and artists.
Nous, les femmes, si on se serre les coudes, on peut vraiment avoir une action très très positive sur le monde.
The American Film Festival in Deauville.
Get all the insight.
The government is still spying.
And the voices that matter on France 24.
Liberté, égalité, actualité.